Okay, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to touch a little bit about being consistent and knowing when and when not to, I guess. This is all personal opinions and personal experience, so take it for what it's worth. And let's get into this. So, for me, being consistent obviously is the biggest thing that you can do to make the most amount of results in the shortest amount of time. I hear people say all the time, I can't lose weight, or I can't gain weight, or I can't get stronger, or I can't this, or I can't that. And the biggest problem that they have is actually cleaning up their diet, being consistent on sticking to that diet once it is cleaned up, being consistent with their training, their sleep, and everything else. But also, with that being said, I think there comes to a point in time where, like, you don't have to take it that serious. Like, I'm hardcore 24/7, no breaks, no days off, no nothing. Because even the top guys, like Ronnie Coleman, he said after the Olympia, he would take 3 months off from training and everything. He would just chill and relax for 3 months. So you need to know when to have a break. So not only mentally, but physically. I'm not saying, hey guys, it's okay to be lazy and back off and slack off your training. But there has to be a point, like if you have kids and you have family, especially with the holidays approaching, like, I've been that guy before. Like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. I'm on diet. I'm eating my meals. I'm not going to eat dinner with you guys. I'm gonna stick to my meals. And then I would miss out on something. And I wasn't even training for a competition or training for anything. I was just working out to be bigger for the potential to one day to compete. Now, if I was competing, that would be the mindset. If I had a competition coming up in December or January, that would be the mindset I would have to have right now. But since I'm not competing, I'm not going to skip out another Thanksgiving and Christmas with my family and not eat Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner with them because of I want to be that guy that has to prove to the room that, like, you have to be like this 24/7, no days off, no breaks, no stops. Like, the consistency is extremely important. But like your kids' birthdays, your anniversary, I used to be that guy where it's like, my anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to work out, and I'm going to stick to my diet, and I will not break for anyone for any reason. But like I said, either you're on the verge of dying or you have a competition right around the corner. I don't think anyone needs to be that serious about it because even like the elites aren't that serious. There are guys, I can't remember the names, but there was a guy who was competing in Mr. Olympia, not this year, I think it was last year, and he went to Cheesecake Factory and had 3 slices of cheesecake like 2 days out from Mr. Olympia, 3 days out from Mr. Olympia. Now you can say, oh, that's part of the program, carving up, but he spent like 4 hours on the exercise bike afterwards to work those calories off. He got like second or third place or something like that. I don't remember his name. I need to do better research on this to look it up to have my ducks in order whenever I'm quoting this stuff. But you get what I'm saying. Like, even the top guys sometimes have a moment where they're like, I can afford to do this right now because it's just doesn't need to be that serious, especially if you're not making money off of it and you're not like making a living off of it. It's okay to enjoy yourself with your family every now and then. As much as I preach about being consistent and don't have cheat meals and don't plan cheat meals and nothing like that, but if you're wanting a cheat meal just to have a cheat meal by yourself, that's one thing. But if you have an event coming up with your whole family and it's a special event and it means something, you don't have to pig out and go crazy and eat like a complete, like, loose cannon. But you can enjoy yourself and have a meal or have some of the food there and then just kind of like monitor. Like, I think it was even Dorian Yates. He even said he would have chocolate cake or chocolate ice cream, I think, and he would just schedule those calories into his diet. So he would reduce his calories at some point in the day on a meal to make up for the calories for that meal so he can enjoy that from time to time. Like, there was a video of him talking about that. So like I said, like, you need to be realistic with your goals and where you're at in life and the point in time you are with your goals and where you're trying to get to with your consistency. But just know that, hey, like, you don't always have to be that guy because at the end of the day, like, it's not going to set you back that much, especially if you're not out from a competition in a couple of days or whatever. What do you guys feel about it? How do y'all think about it? What do y'all think reigning supreme over, like being consistent reigns supreme over those moments, or do you think that it's situational?
For someone in my situation, I don't like, as you're saying, like, I don't see a point in me skipping Thanksgiving, like with the family or whatever, and Christmas meals and stuff like that, because I don't have a specific like not goal, but like competition, like you were saying. Sorry, and so with me being in that kind of format, having those days every now and then is not really like a detrimental thing for me. It's just something that I can treat myself from time to time. I just know I got to put in a little bit extra work to catch back up, sort of thing. And I think that's also one of the things where like I'm being really consistent, but knowing that I can like have that moment or whatever, it keeps me more honest because I know like I don't. Because I think like when you have to look at it as you don't get that because like I can't do that because I'm on this, and like straying off is completely going to ruin it all kind of thing. And you're telling yourself you can't. I think that's what makes people break down a lot quicker because they get that whole like, well, when's the next time I'm ever going to have it kind of thing. So having that ability to just be like, I like coming up for Thanksgiving, I'm going to eat some food and stuff like that that's not on my diet and things like. So I'm still going to enjoy myself, and knowing that I have the ability to do that, it makes it easier for me to actually stick to my actual diet when I am on it. So, yeah.
Well, me, I'm going to find every excuse to eat something else, so I'm definitely going to eat on Thanksgiving, and I don't care.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. So, okay, about the whole like, approaching it like the mindset of not being able to get it or when's the next time I'm going to be able to get it. So that's what I always tell people. It's like, listen, if you've been fat for 35 years and you've had 35 years to be fat and eat how you wanted to and do what you wanted to get to where you are, like, you're not missing out on nothing. You can eat a pizza whenever you want. It's not like you're never going to eat a pizza. You're never going to, go without a burger again. You're never going to get to eat that again. It's just you're choosing right now not to eat that. You're choosing that right now because you have a goal and you're trying to better yourself and you're trying to change your lifestyle and your body for the better because you decided for whatever reason it was time to change. So go into it like, I can't have this. I won't ever get this. I'm not allowed to get this. When will I ever get this again? It's the wrong mindset. It should be, I can't eat this if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I can have this, but I'm choosing not to have this because the second you decide to have it, it's going to be there. Unless it was the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
That's what I was thinking.
And then all of a sudden you went on a diet and 4 weeks later they cut it off the menu. Then you're like, oh no, I'm never going to get it. But they brought it back, so it's okay. You want this.
You say what you want, but those freaking 3 years without that thing were terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, like a lot of people dog on Taco Bell, but that Mexican pizza, it hits differently, especially when you're drunk.
Just always. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's definitely like it brings the crowds there and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. So like it's one of those things like you don't have to always be so like, you don't have to have the mindset of like, I never get to eat this. It's like, well, I'm just choosing not to eat this because I'm deciding not to eat it because I don't want to. But at the same time, you don't have to be that person where it's like, hey, Dad, hey, Mom, my birthday or Christmas or Thanksgiving. No. Daddy or mommy's on a diet and I'm strict and don't offer me that food. Because I used to get mad at people when they would offer me food on the job. So like everybody knew I dieted. Everybody knew I was working out and I was trying to be a bodybuilder. But everybody would ask me, hey, you want me to pick you? Hey, you want me to bring something? Hey, you want me to get you? So, hey, I could pick you up something over and over. And it wasn't like once in a while. It was like every single day they would ask me. And it was the same answer every single time they asked. And they were just being polite, trying to make sure I didn't feel left out or trying to make it feel like I was thought of or a part of the work team or whatever, however you want to say it. But after I told them week after week after week, finally I got irritated and I just snapped at them like stop asking. Like just stop. Like, I know you're trying to be nice, but you're just making it harder on me because you make me start thinking of that food and how much better it would taste than what I have to eat. So do me a favor and just stop. And I got rude with people and they were just trying to be kind. And like I said, you don't have to be that guy. But when you're hungry and you get hangry and you're like training for something and you're serious about it and it's becoming part of your life and your identity and who you are and what you do, it can get frustrating to play devil's advocate. And some people don't understand what it's like to be on a diet for that long and be that hungry and to be tempted with food constantly, even though you ask them kindly so many times to stop. But like I said, there's a line,
Yeah, well, for me, like, consistency is important because I'm one of those people that if I like trail off, I just go straight down to the bottom of the hill. I'm hanging down there for a while. It takes a lot to climb back up and get back on track. So being consistent for me, I really have to. I can't really think of cheat meals because if I do, like I said, a cheat meal turns into a cheat weekend and then a week. And then all of a sudden, it's been a couple months and I'm back to where I started. And so for me, I have to be consistent. I do make, what is it? Like for holidays, what's the word I'm looking for?
Exceptions.
Like, exception, that's the word. I do make exceptions for holidays and special events like my kids' birthdays and stuff. It might seem so dumb to some people, but to them, it's really important if I take a bite of their cake. Like it just is. So I'll do that. I don't try to be too hard on myself, but I do personally have to be consistent or I just go right back to where I started. I just have that habit of eating things that I want.
Well, like what you said about having a bite of the cake, right? You can control it. You can have a bite or small piece. You don't have to be rude or mean or be like, no, I'm not going to eat that and hurt their feelings. Like that's what I mean. Like you don't have to be so hardcore about it all the time. Every now and then it's allowed to. Like, but I do believe that there are trigger foods. Like I 100% believe there's trigger foods. Like there's someone out there that might be able to eat like 2 pieces of popcorn and not desire anything else, or maybe a chip or a Dorito or something. But then you give them a cookie and they're going to eat the whole bag. It's not just going to be a cookie. It's going to be a bag of cookies. And there's the people that can have just something that's sweet, one bite, but you give them something salty, they're going to devour the whole thing. And I do believe there are trigger foods.
I think for me, it's like a trigger time because I'm a big time nighttime snacker. I really like to snack at nighttime. It's like when I get to sit down, wind down, watch TV, hang out. I do so much all throughout the day. And so if I start, I can't stop. It's not a specific thing. It's just in general. We're kind of the same way.
Yeah, well, like I always tell people, it's like, I got this little guy on my shoulder. I'm a demon if you want, and he's always in my ear whenever I'm dieting. It's hungry, right? He's just always in there. Like I've caught myself many times in the pantry, and I don't know if anyone else has done this, but this is a personal thing. Like I'll go to the pantry and I'll look at the food. I'm so hungry. I just want to look at it. I got to get out of the pantry, so I walk out the kitchen. 2 minutes later, I'm back in the kitchen looking. Then I get out here. There's nothing in here for you. Leave. So I'll go leave. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll come back, go to the kitchen, look around. Like, man, this looks good. That looks good. I'll just eat. I mean, if I could eat this and that and that and this and this. No, get out of here. And I'll do this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Till finally, that little voice, the little guy on my shoulder goes, it doesn't matter what it is. He'd be like, let's say Oreo. Like, just take a bite. Just take a bite, man. It's just one bite. It's not going to hurt you. Just one bite. So I'm like, it's just one bite. So I take a bite. Then he goes, what are you going to do? Throw the rest of the cookie away? Just eat the rest of the cookie. It's just one cookie. It's not going to hurt. Just, okay, I'm going to eat just this one cookie. And he goes, good. Now eat all of them. And then I will start devouring the bag. Like a whole brand new thing of Oreos, I'll devour it, and then that'll lead to me opening up a bag of chips, then having this and that and that and this. The next thing you know,
you can't get started, honestly.
Yeah, the next thing you know, I'm staring at the barrel of 3,000 calories of junk, and I'm like, man, I could have just ate something instead. I just went through it, and I just berated the pantry, and now I feel horrible, not only because I'm bloating and I'm stuffed and I overate, but I feel mentally bad because I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? What was the point of that?
What it kind of reminds me of is that one time that you kept going in the kitchen and then you'd come out and you go in and you'd come out and I was like, what are you doing? And I turned around and I caught you eating something.
Yeah, that was a weak moment.
Oh,
You caught me, busted. Like Rich Piana used to always say, oh, busted. But so here's a funny story that's not really related to anything particular about working out, but about Oreos. So we had this roommate, and
I knew you were gonna go there, buddy. I knew it.
Well, I wasn't even going to say her name, but you threw it out there.
Okay.
So
She's my best friend. She don't care.
okay, so I had this roommate, and we had this roommate, and she would hoard all her food in her room, and then she would come out into the kitchen and eat all of our food and all of our snacks and all of our stuff, and she would never buy it back. She would never contribute. She would never buy anything for the house. And then she put all her food in her room. We're like, why do you always put everything in your room? Because I don't want y'all to eat my stuff. Then why are you always eating our stuff? Well, because it's in the kitchen, so that's for anybody. No, it's because we own the home, so we're not going to put food in our room when we own the home. So anyways, so she bought this bag of Oreos, And at the time, I hated Oreos. I didn't even like Oreos. They were not good at all to me. That was just a nasty little cookie. And she left this big family pack of Oreos out in the counter. And I came home from work and she wasn't there. And I looked at my wife. I was like, "When'd you get Oreos?" She's like, "I didn't. Amber bought them." I was like, "Oh, those are Amber's." She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, bet." And I don't even like Oreos. So I ate every single Oreo and only left one. By the time I got done, I was hurting real bad. My stomach was bloated and I was just like, oh, I'm miserable. But I ate every one of those nasty little cookies. Well, she comes just out of pure spite. So she comes home and then she goes to grab her bag of Oreos. And then you could just hear the one rattling around in there. And she looked at me. She snapped her head at me, looked at me. She's like, "Did you eat all my Oreos?" "Yep, I sure did, because anything in the kitchen is community, right? That's what you said. So you left it out there. So obviously it was for everybody in the house." She goes, "These are for a project for my cousin or whoever it was. I can't remember at the time." I was like, "Well, they got one for it." And then I just started cracking up laughing. She just looked at me and she was like, "You hate Oreos." I was like, "I know." And she's like, "So you just did it out of spite?" "Yep." And then we just kind of laughed about it, and that was it. Well, I hated Oreos, but after that night, they kind of grew on me. Now I actually really like Oreos, and when I'm not on a hard diet and stuff like that, I actually enjoy eating them and stuff like that. So, and this is true for anything, because I didn't like sweet potatoes at first until I force-fed myself them long enough, and now I love sweet potatoes. Didn't like Oreos, force-fed myself enough, now I like Oreos. Same thing for coffee and whiskey and beer and everything else. Like anything I've ever had on my palate that I didn't enjoy, after forcing yourself to taste it for so long, eventually the flavor, it grows on you and you start enjoying that flavor, unless it's tilapia.
I was about to say, how about that tilapia?
I hate tilapia. I used to eat 5 to 6 pounds of tilapia a day for like 3 months. I hate tilapia. Can't do it no more.
Well, it's funny too because Amber still talks about those Oreos. It's still funny. Maybe you just like them now because it just reminds you of being petty.
Yeah, probably. And I'm not a petty or spiteful person, but every now and then it's required by law.
Me neither.
Yeah, right.
Why are you laughing?
I was just
no reason.
I snickered. I didn't laugh. But yeah, the sweet potatoes thing though. Like yeah, no, I ate them for a while. I bared through them, but no, I still don't like them. They're just not my thing.
I only like sweet potatoes if it just has like a little slither of butter. I hate candied yams. Those are so nasty.
They're too sweet, too much sugar in them for sure. I just like plain sweet potatoes. They're just amazing.
With
to me.
a little bit
them.
of like slither of butter and salt and pepper.
Well,
Perfect.
yeah, but like I said, like I love them plain too. Like the butter and the salt and pepper is great too. But like I said, just eat them plain. What I used to do is I used to do this thing. I called it my go-go sweet potato, and I cook a sweet potato, then I put it in a plastic baggie, like a Ziploc bag, like for your sandwich, and then I make it like a cake batter design deal, where I cut the corner off of it, and then I would just suck it into my mouth like cake batter, and I just swallow it down. It's
Sucked it into your mouth, huh?
Yep, sucked it in, swallowed it down, because I'm a trooper. That's what I do. So,
All for the diet.
yep. So I think that's going to be it for me on this one. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Nope. Y'all have a good holiday.
Well, it's not quite there yet. It's next week. We can touch on that a little bit more next
Well,
week.
I'm just really excited about the food because we've been talking about it, so I'm just assuming.
Yeah, me too. So, but you got anything, Richard?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Well, hey, guys, we appreciate y'all stopping in and checking us out. If you made it this far in the video, we appreciate you guys to leave a like. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, we'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, because let's be honest, if you made it this far in the video, you were probably somewhat entertained, if not entertained, the whole video to make it through. So if you'd like to subscribe, we appreciate it. You don't want to and you don't want to like it, it's as simple as don't do it. But until next time, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Later.